You're now entering open space, a place of mystery, truth, and untold stories. Like and subscribe if you're ready for what's coming. The town of Elmridge was quiet, wrapped in its usual sleepy routine. Rex, a retired German shepherd with alert amber eyes and a thick sable black coat, paced beside his owner, Tom, a former cop turned private handyman. Tom didn't expect much from retirement, just walks and coffee. But that morning, as they passed the park, Rex stopped, ears forward, nose twitching. Something wasn't right. He growled low. Tom frowned, sensing his old partner had picked up a trail again. Tom crouched beside Rex. "What is it, boy?" The dog took a step forward, sniffed again, then looked at Tom sharply. Without warning, Rex darted toward the woods near the playground. Tom followed, heart racing. The dog stopped near a patch of dirt, pawing gently at the ground. Half buried beneath the leaves was a child's pink sneaker, muddy, small. Tom's blood turned cold. This wasn't just a walk anymore, this was a call to action. Tom called the police, hands trembling. Rex sat beside him, eyes fixed on the trees. Officer Daniels arrived quickly. "We've been looking for a missing girl since last night," he said grimly. Tom showed the shoe. Daniels nodded slowly, then looked at Rex. "You sure about the dog's nose?" Tom gave a small smile. "He's found more bodies than half your force." Daniels didn't laugh. The search had just changed course, now led by an old canine legend. The girl's name was Emily Carter, 7 years old, vanished on her way home from school. Her parents were distraught, the neighborhood tense. Rex retraced steps with quiet determination, nose low. Tom kept pace, remembering how many times they'd done this dance before. Only now they were older, slower, but the stakes were the same: life or death. Behind a dumpster, Rex barked. A second clue: a broken bracelet with an E charm. Tom and Rex brought the bracelet to Daniels. The officer's brow furrowed. "These are all from 2 blocks apart. This wasn't random." Surveillance cameras showed nothing. Someone had planned it well. As Tom and Rex walked home, a car slowly passed them, tinted windows hiding its driver. Rex stiffened, letting out a low growl. Tom stared at the car. They were being watched. Whatever this was, it wasn't over. It was just beginning. That night, Tom couldn't sleep. He sat by the window watching the street. Rex lay at his feet, but his ears stayed perked. At 2:13 a.m., a motion light flashed in the backyard. Tom grabbed his old revolver. Rex stood up, tail rigid. They crept outside together. No sounds. Then a shadow moved near the shed. Rex lunged forward with a bark that split the silence. Whoever it was, they ran, but not before dropping something metal. Tom picked up the dropped object. It was a key. Old brass mark storage 12. He glanced at Rex. "Looks like we've got work, partner." The next morning, they visited an abandoned storage facility on the edge of town. Rex sniffed along the row until he stopped at Unit 12, tail stiff. Tom unlocked the door slowly. Inside was darkness and the smell of something terrible. Rex whined low. They had just opened a piece of the puzzle. Inside the storage unit were boxes, dusty toys, and children's clothes. In the corner, a folded blanket and a candy wrapper. "She was here," Tom whispered. Rex barked once, then moved to a far wall, pawing at the wood. A hidden compartment. Inside it, photos, dozens of them, kids, labeled with names, a list. Tom's stomach twisted. This wasn't just about Emily. This was bigger, far bigger. A predator had been at work for years. Tom called Daniels immediately. When the police arrived, they treated the scene like a bomb. "These are trophies," one detective said. Emily's bracelet matched a name on the list, others didn't. Some kids weren't even reported missing. "What kind of monster does this?" Daniels whispered. Tom didn't answer. He just looked at Rex, who stared down the hallway. Somewhere in this town, a hunter was still out there, and Rex had the scent. By nightfall, the news had spread. Parents clutched their children tighter. Elmridge was no longer a quiet town, but Rex wasn't shaken. He watched the world from the porch, ears rotating with every sound. Tom sat beside him. "Feels like the old days, huh?" Rex tilted his head. "Oh, somewhere out there, the truth waited. Tomorrow they'd chase it again. For Emily, for every name on that list, and for justice that never forgets." At sunrise, Tom visited City Hall. He asked for access to old missing persons reports, especially from small nearby towns. Rex lay quietly under the table, eyes scanning every movement. An intern brought a dusty file box marked Unresolved 2015. Inside, familiar names. Kids from the storage list. One stood out, Mason G., vanished after visiting his uncle. The address, right in Elmridge, just 3 blocks from Tom's house. The address belonged to Arthur Green, a quiet man in his 60s. Neighbors called him polite, if distant. Tom knocked. No answer. Rex sniffed the door, then growled softly. "We need a warrant," Tom muttered, but Daniels said without evidence it was a dead end. That night, Rex kept pacing near the door. He knew something was inside. Tom trusted him. They would get in, legally or not. Tom waited until the next morning. When Arthur left the house, Rex followed quietly while Tom trailed at a distance. Arthur walked into the woods behind the neighborhood, an unusual path. He stopped at a shed hidden by brush. Rex crouched low, watching. Arthur entered, then locked it behind him. 10 minutes passed. Then he left, alone. Tom approached carefully. "Let's check it, Rex." The dog's hackles were already raised. They waited until Arthur disappeared. Tom picked the lock, rusty but simple. Inside the shed, tools, paint cans, and a trapdoor. Rex barked once. Beneath the floor, a hidden room. They climbed down, inside old toys, drawings, and duct-taped restraints. The air was thick with dust and silence. This was a prison once. Maybe still was. On the wall, a photo of Emily, fresh. She'd been here recently. Daniels arrived in minutes. "You were right," he said, voice heavy. The crime scene team swarmed in. Arthur Green was nowhere to be found. "He knew we were coming," Tom said. Rex barked at a muddy footprint, fresh. It led back into the woods. Arthur had fled, but he wouldn't get far. Not with Rex tracking him. The manhunt had begun. And Rex? He was already 10 steps ahead. The chase led deeper into the forest. Tom and Rex followed the trail. Broken branches, crushed leaves, faint scent. Hours passed. Near a creek, Rex stopped, barking sharply. A torn jacket sleeve floated in the water. "He's getting sloppy," Tom muttered. Then a shout echoed through the trees. A deputy had spotted Arthur. The net was closing, and Rex would be the one to bring him down. They cornered Arthur near an old cabin. Surrounded, he tried to flee, but Rex lunged, grabbing his arm and forcing him to the ground. Tom rushed in, cuffing him with a deputy. Arthur screamed, "You don't understand." But no one listened. In his pocket, a phone with coordinates. Tom stared at the screen. "There's more?" he whispered. This wasn't over. Not yet. The GPS led them to a farmhouse miles outside town. Abandoned, or so it seemed. Rex stayed close as they entered. The air was stale. Downstairs was empty, but from the cellar came muffled cries. Tom yanked the door open. Two children, Emily and a boy, terrified but alive. Tom dropped to his knees. Rex whined softly, tail wagging. They'd made it. They'd saved them, but the story wasn't done. Emily clung to Rex as medics checked her. "He saved us," she whispered. The boy nodded silently. Arthur had been part of something bigger. Police found files in the farmhouse tracking dozens of kids. Tom sat beside Rex in the ambulance doorway. "You've still got it, old friend." Rex licked his hand, eyes tired but proud. Elmridge would sleep safely tonight, but darkness doesn't rest for long. The media storm hit fast. Headlines hailed Rex as a hero. TV crews came, but Tom turned them away. He doesn't work for fame. At home, Rex dozed in the sun, paws twitching as if chasing something in his dreams. Tom looked out the window, thoughtful. He knew this wasn't the last case, not in a town like this. Somewhere, someone else needed them, and Rex would be ready. Rex's rest didn't last long. That evening, a knock on Tom's door, Sheriff Daniels again. "Another one, Tom. A boy disappeared in Milltown." Similar pattern. His parents say he vanished after school. No witnesses, no clues. Tom looked at Rex, who was already on his feet. Tired or not, duty called. Let's move. Elmridge wasn't the only town in danger. Milltown felt colder, industrial, quiet, with shadows hiding in every alley. Tom and Rex stopped by the school. The boy, Lucas, had left class at 3 p.m., but never arrived home. Rex sniffed near the bike racks, then growled low. Something had happened here. A dark van was spotted that day. No plates. Surveillance? None, but Rex had a scent. And he never forgot a scent. Rex led them through alleyways down to an abandoned rail yard. Rusted trains sat in silence. "You sure, boy?" Tom asked. Rex barked once. They searched each car. Finally, behind one train, they found a child's backpack, Lucas's name stitched inside. Tom called Daniels. "He's here." Or was. Rex suddenly growled and turned. They weren't alone. Someone was watching. A shadow moved between train cars. Tom drew his gun. "Show yourself!" A man bolted. Rex launched forward like lightning. The chase tore through the yard, metal clanging, gravel flying. Rex leaped, knocking the man flat. He bit down just enough to hold. Tom cuffed him. "Who are you working for?" The man laughed. "You're too late." Rex barked in his face. No mercy in those eyes. Under pressure, the man confessed. He was a scout, someone who watched and grabbed kids for a ring that sold them. The operation stretched across 3 counties. "You can't stop it," he hissed. "They're everywhere." Tom didn't answer, but Rex did. Low, warning growl. That night, they didn't sleep. There were names to follow, locations to check. The game just got bigger. They raided a warehouse on the edge of town. Tip from the scout. It was quiet. Too quiet. Tom's flashlight scanned the shadows. Rex froze, then barked. A hatch beneath a crate. Tom pried it open. Underground, cages, empty. But signs of recent use. Mattresses, food, a teddy bear. "We just missed them," Tom muttered. Rex pawed at the ground, desperate to follow the trail. Rex caught the trail again. Out back, tire tracks led into the woods. Tom radioed the sheriff. "We need roadblocks now." They followed in silence, Rex guiding them like a compass. 2 miles in, an old delivery truck, abandoned, blood on the door. Tom's stomach dropped. "Please, not too late." Rex barked 3 times, fast. He found something. A sock. Small, still warm. Inside the truck, ropes, duct tape, and a camera. They found a lead, shipping labels, all headed to one address. Tom called it in. "This isn't just local, this is national." Daniels was silent. "We'll need the feds." Rex barked sharply. He wasn't waiting. Tom looked at him. "Let's go, partner." The next battle was already here, and they wouldn't fight it alone. The address was a mansion outside the city, hidden behind tall gates. Wealth. Secrecy. The perfect cover. Rex paced nervously. Tom and Daniels geared up. "We go in hard," Daniel said. SWAT followed. The raid was quick, too quick. Inside, expensive furniture, surveillance feeds, and a locked basement door. Rex barked frantically. "They're here," Tom whispered. "Open it." The basement was hell. Children, 6 of them, locked in separate rooms, pale, silent, alive. Tom called it in. SWAT cleared the rest. No ringleader found. Just more evidence, more questions. One girl clutched Rex tightly. "You saved us," she whispered. Tom looked at the screens. Someone had been watching them all. Somewhere, the monster was still out there, and Rex would find him. Back at the station, the kids received blankets and warm food. Parents arrived, crying, hugging, thanking Rex, but Tom couldn't rest. "We missed the leader," he muttered. Rex sat beside him, ears up, alert. The girl who hugged Rex handed Tom a drawing. "This is him," she said. "A tall man with a scar. He said we were products." Tom's jaw clenched. Rex growled. The drawing triggered something. Tom searched old case files. Scar over left eye. He found it. Dominic Vale, ex-intelligence. Vanished 5 years ago, suspected in multiple abductions, never caught. "We've got our ghost." Rex barked once. But Vale never worked alone. They needed to find the next location before more kids vanished. The clock was ticking again. An encrypted flash drive recovered from the mansion held coordinates, abandoned properties across state lines. Tom picked one, an old mining lodge in the mountains. Remote, isolated, perfect for hiding things or people. Daniels tried to stop him. "Let the feds handle it." Tom shook his head. "Rex and I are going." This was personal now. The drive was long. Snow began to fall. Rex stared out the window, still and focused. Tom loaded his gun. No backup this time. They arrived at the lodge by dusk, an eerie, silent place surrounded by forest. No cars, no lights. But Rex's ears twitched. He smelled something. Someone was inside. They entered quietly. Dust and cold. Footsteps echoed. Rex led Tom to the basement. Padlocked, Tom broke it open. Inside, signs of life, not children. Computers, files, surveillance, a wall full of photographs, every missing child. Some crossed out. Rex growled at a vent. Someone was escaping. Tom ran after them. Through the vent, up the stairs, out the back, Tom chased a man in black across icy ground. "Stop!" But the man was fast. Then Rex passed Tom in a blur. The shepherd lunged, slamming the runner down. Snow sprayed. Tom caught up and yanked off the mask. Not Vale. Another handler. "Where is he?" The man laughed. "You'll never touch him." Under interrogation, the man cracked. Vale was planning a mass transport. Children from multiple states moved through underground tunnels tied to old railways. Time frame, 48 hours. Destination, unknown. Tom slammed his fist. Rex growled. "We shut it down now?" Tom said. No sleep, no delays. They had one chance. Maps from the flash drive showed the tunnels. One hub stood out, an abandoned rail station beneath Elmridge. Tom's town. "It was under us the whole time," he whispered. Rex barked sharply. They headed out before dawn. The final hunt had begun, and this time Rex was ready for war. Inside the tunnels, it was endless dark. Rex stayed close, sniffing, guiding. They found generators, lights, and cages still occupied. Children. Tom called him back up. Rex patrolled every tunnel, hunting for Vale. Then he stopped. He stared into the dark. A figure stepped out, tall, scar over left eye. Been waiting, Vale said. Vale smiled. Smart dog. Then he ran. Tom and Rex gave chase. The tunnels echoed with footsteps, barking, shouting. Vale climbed a ladder up into the rail yard. Rex followed, relentless. Snow, steam, screams. Rex leaped, biting into Vale's arm, dragging him down. This time, there was no escape. Vale was handcuffed, bleeding, defeated. It's over, Tom said. The children were rescued, the tunnels exposed. Police swarmed in. Rex sat beside Vale, growling low. For the first time, Tom saw fear in the man's eyes, not from the law, but from the dog who hunted him like prey. Justice had teeth now. At the station, Tom watched through the glass as Vale was led away. Reporters shouted questions, cameras flashed. Rex rested at Tom's feet, eyes still alert. Daniels patted his shoulder. You saved lives. Tom nodded. He did. Rex blinked, ears twitching. He wasn't done. Not yet. Days passed, news spread like wildfire. Dog detective cracks child trafficking ring. Offers came, TV, books, medals. Tom refused them all. We're not heroes, we just did what was right. Rex barked, once in agreement, but fame had its price. Now everyone knew Rex, including those who wanted revenge. One night, a rock shattered Tom's window, a note tied to it. This isn't over. Rex stood, growling deep. Tom grabbed his gun. He knew this would come. They want war? He whispered. We'll give them war. Rex wagged his tail. Once, ready. The city didn't need another hero. It needed a hunter. They started digging. The web was bigger than Vale. Underground auctions, encrypted forms, new names. Rex sat beside Tom during long nights at the laptop, sniffing out danger in silence. They found a name, the broker, an alias known only to whispers. If Vale was the hand, this was the brain. The broker moved fast. Witnesses vanished. Data was wiped. But Rex had a gift. He could sense fear, lies, patterns. Tom followed Rex into back alleys, strip clubs, tech dens. Piece by piece, they mapped a new operation. They're moving again, Tom said, but so are we. A hacker named Slink gave them a lead. For a price. Tom showed a badge. Rex showed teeth. Slink caved. They're meeting at the docks. Midnight. It was always the docks. Tom checked his gun. Rex barked. This time, it wouldn't be a takedown. It would be a reckoning. Fog blanketed the docks. Silent. Still. Tom and Rex moved between containers, eyes sharp. Then, voices, laughter, a deal in progress. Children in cages again. Rage flared. Rex lunged. Chaos erupted. Screams, gunshots, growls. Tom moved like fire. Rex moved like lightning. In the middle of the chaos, the broker appeared, masked, calm, dangerous. You're too late, he said. Tom fired, missed. The broker vanished into the smoke, but Rex chased, unstoppable, through crates, across metal, leaping over barrels. The final chase had begun. Rex caught him on the boat ramp. No escape. The broker fought back, knife flashing, but Rex dodged, bit, pinned. Tom arrived, panting. It's over, he said again. This time, it was. Children freed, operation burned, and in the middle of the fire stood a dog, calm, loyal, unbreakable. They called it a miracle. News flooded in again. Hero dog ends trafficking empire. But Tom stayed quiet. He knew this wasn't over. Evil has layers. And Rex had seen the darkest ones. That night, Tom poured himself a drink. Rex lay at his feet. Rain tapped the glass. Peace for now. Tom opened an envelope from an unknown sender. Inside, a photo of Rex, puppy days, in a cage. On the back, we made him. You just set him loose. Rage surged. Rex sniffed the photo and whimpered low. They know you, Tom whispered, but now they fear you. Back to work. A missing person case. Seems simple. Teen runaway. But Rex hesitated at her room, sniffed the air, then growled softly. Something was wrong. Tom followed the scent. It wasn't a runaway. It was another pattern. Different face. Same monster. Clues led to a wealthy businessman, clean record, public donor, private predator. Tom went undercover. Rex stayed close, posing as a guard dog, but his eyes never stopped scanning. That night, they followed the man to a private club. Inside, darkness wore a smile. Inside, whispers and veiled threats. No proof, just performance. But Rex moved like smoke, slipping past guards, finding hidden doors. Tom followed, behind velvet curtains. Proof. Photos, files, chains. The man smiled. You have no badge here. Tom raised his phone. But I have backup. Police stormed in. The man resisted. Rex took him down. Swift, brutal, precise. Cameras caught everything. By morning, the city had a new villain and a new legend. Rex the Avenger? Headlines read. Tom turned them over. We're not done. Rex growled low, as if agreeing, but legends draw enemies. A shadowy figure watched the news. He's getting close, he whispered. Time to burn it all. A button pressed. A car exploded. Tom ducked. Rex shielded him. Both survived, but barely. Now it was personal. Tom woke up in the hospital, bruised ribs. Rex sat by his bed, untouched. How? He croaked. The nurse smiled. They say he dragged you out. Tom chuckled painfully. Of course he did. But the fire had destroyed everything. Files, evidence. The hunt would start again. New targets, new tactics. They went silent, off-grid, no more interviews, no more headlines. Tom dyed his hair. Rex got a new collar. Underground again. Because in this war, the hunters had to become ghosts. And ghosts don't knock, they bite. At night in a train yard, Tom watched a man pass a case to another. Rex growled once. Confirmation. That's our guy, Tom said. They didn't wait. No badge, no warning. They ran like wolves. Because sometimes justice doesn't knock, it hunts. The man ran, but Rex was faster. He leapt, taking him down with precision. Tom cuffed him silently. Inside the case, names, accounts, photos. It was bigger than they'd thought. International. And Rex? He stood over the man, eyes burning. This wasn't over. Just deeper. A new name emerged. The Broker. No photo, no trace. Just whispers. He moved the pieces, built the empire, and now he knew Rex. Get me closer, Tom said. Rex barked once, understood. They followed money trails into silence. Some doors only opened to dogs. In an old warehouse, they found the trail, empty cages, syringes, children's toys. Rex sniffed, then froze. He growled deep. Tom raised his gun. A man stepped out slowly. He remembers me, doesn't he? The man sneered. Tom replied coldly. He never forgets. The man tried to run. Rex caught his sleeve just enough to stop him. Talk, Tom growled. The man spilled everything. Drop points, handlers, code names, no broker. But Rex's ears twitched. He turned toward a vent, a camera lens, watching. Always watching. They changed phones, locations, even identities. Rex became Max. Tom was now Eli, underground for real. The broker knew them, knew their moves, but not their hearts. not Rex's fury. The hunter was hunted now. The lines blurred. Justice turned primal. At a remote airstrip, Tom spotted a known trafficker boarding a plane. No time for backup, just them. Rex raced across the tarmac. Sirens in the distance. One jump, Rex latched onto the man. Plane screeched to a halt. One step closer, Tom whispered. Uh, the man talked. Broker's next meeting, Monaco, high-class disguise time. Tom wore a tux, Rex had a bow tie, but behind the charm, eyes scanned for evil. In the ballroom, billionaires danced. Rex locked onto one face, calm, smiling. Too calm. That's him, Tom said. They followed the man to a rooftop suite, but inside, silence, no signs of life, just a note. Too late? Then the door locked. Gas hissed. Tom smashed a window. Rex jumped first. They hit the pool below, gas clouds curling above, alive, barely. So close, yet always one step behind. But Rex wasn't giving up. At the port, he picked up a scent. Strong, recent. They chased it onto a yacht, empty, until the engines roared. The broker's voice on speakers. You want me? Come find me. Then it vanished. Back in their hideout, Tom slammed a map on the table. He's taunting us. Rex barked once, his tail low, ready. They knew the final game had started, and this time there were no rules, no mercy, just instinct, and the fire of unfinished justice. The chase had led them to the docks. Low tide, the night air thick with salt and silence. Rex's paws splashed in the water. Tom's eyes scanned the shadows. Then a figure appeared at the far end, disappearing into the darkness. The broker. But was it a trap? Rex was ready. They reached an old boat, drifting. No sound but the creak of wood. But Rex's ears twitched. Something wasn't right. Suddenly a flash of movement. The broker's voice again. Always one step behind Tom. Rex lunged at the man's shadow, knocking him down. They were close. The broker was slipping away again. He always stayed one step ahead, vanishing like smoke. But Rex kept the scent. It was sharp, close. The world felt quieter, more dangerous. The detective turned to Rex, speaking softly. We'll find him. You never forget, do you? In a high-rise building, the broker made his move. But Tom had a plan. Rex was the bait. A distraction. As Rex barked loudly, Tom slipped through the back. The broker panicked, running into the elevator. Too late. The door opened. Tom waited. Game over. Until the broker was cornered, Tom approached slowly. It's over. But Rex wasn't done. He circled the man, watching. The broker chuckled. You think you've won? This is bigger than you. The lights went out. Silence. Then a gunshot rang out. Rex barked urgently. A bullet had grazed Tom's arm. Rex leapt into action, knocking the gun out of the broker's hand. The detective winced in pain, but smiled. It's over, Rex growled, watching the man closely. The broker tried to flee, but not today, not while Rex was on his tail. The broker was handcuffed, defeated, but his eyes were still sharp. This is just the beginning. Tom stared back. No, it's the end. Rex growled, his hackles raised. As they led the man to the squad car, Rex sensed it. The last piece of the puzzle was still missing. Rex's instincts kicked in. He pulled Tom toward a small alley, his nose on high alert. The detective hesitated, but trusted the dog. A rustling. A figure emerged, a woman dressed in black. She smiled. You think you've stopped the broker? He's just a pawn. I'm the queen. The woman was known only as the queen, ruthless, calculating. She offered Tom a deal, join her, and the war would end. But Rex wasn't listening to the words. He snarled, teeth bared. He knew the truth. She wasn't just a criminal, she was a monster. The queen disappeared into the night, but Rex was on her trail. He wouldn't let her slip away. They raced across the city, through crowded streets, into the heart of darkness. Tom knew what came next. The final confrontation. There would be no mercy, not for her. Rex's nose was relentless. He followed the trail through narrow alleyways and underground tunnels. Tom, exhausted, tried to keep up. They were getting closer. The queen wasn't just a criminal, she was the mastermind behind it all. Rex's eyes were locked on the exit ahead. It was almost time. They emerged into the open, a large industrial complex ahead. The queen was here. She'd been expecting them. A voice echoed from above. "I knew you'd come." Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them inside. The chase was far from over. The queen's laugh was eerie, bouncing off the cold concrete walls. "You're too late." She stepped from the shadows, a gun in her hand. But Rex wasn't scared. He lunged first. The queen fired, but Rex dodged. The bullet ricocheted off a metal beam. The final fight was here. Rex grabbed the woman's arm, pulling the gun away. Tom rushed forward, handcuffing her. "You're done." She smirked, unbothered. "You think this is the end? My empire won't fall that easily." Rex growled, sensing the danger wasn't over. Something still wasn't right. As they took her outside, a loud explosion rocked the building. A trap. Rex immediately turned back, barking loudly. "Move!" Tom shouted. They ran for cover, debris raining down. The queen laughed from a distance. She wasn't done. She had one last card to play. They took refuge in a nearby car, Tom driving as fast as he could. But Rex was restless. He kept sniffing the air, his instincts telling him they weren't safe. Tom glanced at him. "What's wrong, boy?" Suddenly, another car appeared in the rearview mirror. The queen wasn't finished yet. The queen's car sped up, pulling up alongside them. She was relentless, aiming a weapon at the car. Rex barked furiously, leaping from the passenger seat. The detective's hand was steady on the wheel, but he knew the stakes. One mistake, and it would all be over. The cars collided. The queen's vehicle spun out of control, but Tom's car skidded to a halt. Rex was out before the engine died, charging at the wreck. "Stay with me," Tom yelled, but Rex was already on top of the queen. She was cornered. The end was near. The queen was defeated, handcuffed again, her face twisted in frustration. "You think you've won," she hissed. "This war's not over." But Tom just nodded. "Yes, it is." Rex stood by, watching her. He knew this was it, the final chapter. Back at the station, Rex sat by Tom's desk. The case was closed, but something still bothered him. Tom rubbed his dog's head. "It's over, buddy. We won." But Rex's eyes weren't reassured. Something bigger was out there, and soon Tom would understand. But for now, they could rest. The silence of the station was deceptive. As Tom walked down the corridor, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Rex trotted beside him, alert, his eyes scanning every corner. Something was coming, something darker. Tom had no idea yet, but Rex did. Rex stopped abruptly, his ears perked. Tom froze. A voice echoed from the shadows. "You think it's over, detective?" The queen's face appeared in the dim light. "You've merely scratched the surface." With a chilling laugh, she disappeared into the darkness, leaving a foreboding feeling behind. Rex barked furiously, pulling at Tom's arm. "Get in the car, now," Tom ordered. They rushed to the parking lot, but it was too late. The explosion tore through the station's rear entrance, sending debris flying. The Queen wasn't done, and the real fight was just beginning. The chase was on once more. Tom gunned the engine, Rex at his side, ready. They sped through the streets, the Queen's taunting laughter echoing over the radio. I'm always one step ahead. Tom tightened his grip on the wheel. Not for long. The pursuit was nearing its final act. Rex's nose was working overtime as they approached an old, abandoned warehouse. The scent was familiar. The Queen had hidden something there, something dangerous. They weren't just going to arrest her anymore. They were hunting down a hidden weapon, a ticking time bomb. Rex was ready. Inside the warehouse, the Queen's plan became clear. She had hidden explosives enough to bring the whole city down. She smirked from a high platform. Welcome to the end of the line, detective. But Rex, ever the guardian, charged up, ready to end this madness once and for all. The Queen fired, but Rex was faster. With one powerful leap, he knocked the gun from her hand, sending it skittering across the floor. The detective moved in, securing her once more. The battle was finally over. The Queen was captured. The city was safe. But Rex's gaze lingered, sensing something deeper. Outside, the sun was rising. Rex and Tom stood together, watching the horizon. The case was closed, but Rex knew there would always be more. The detective placed a hand on the dog's head. You did good, partner. But Rex's eyes, ever watchful, spoke of a new chapter waiting to unfold. The station was quiet now. Tom sat at his desk, paperwork piled up. But his thoughts were on Rex, on their next case. The dog, lying quietly at his feet, raised his head at the sound of a distant siren. Tom smiled faintly. What is it, boy? Rex growled softly, sensing trouble brewing. The door slammed open. A new case. The phone rang. Rex barked, standing tall beside Tom, ready for the next fight. The journey never truly ended, and this time Rex knew it would be more dangerous than ever. The detective nodded. Let's go, partner. Time to solve another one.